It was 2:03 a.m. when I heard the faint shuffle of footsteps outside my door. Soft, hesitant, too careful to be accidental. I didn't move, just listened. The door creaked open an inch, enough for the hallway light to slice through the dark. Then the slow, cautious sound of a drawer sliding open. My wallet wasn't hidden. She knew where I kept it. Everyone did. Then silence. A pause, and the whisper of plastic being lifted from leather. I almost smiled, because that was the moment she made her first mistake, thinking I was asleep. Back then, I would have sworn my sister, Aisha, would take a bullet for me. She was the golden child, charming, impulsive, with that grin that made everyone forgive her too easily. I was the quiet one, the planner, the one she turned to whenever her recklessness got her burned. I had bailed her out before. Parking tickets, bad boyfriends, stupid lies. But money? Never that. She'd always teased me for being paranoid with my accounts. Who checks statements every day? She'd laugh. I'd just shrug. I like to know where things go. Maybe that's why she thought I wouldn't notice $15,000 disappear overnight. I found out at breakfast. She was on a trip, supposedly spontaneous, to Japan with our cousin Sana. First-class tickets, designer luggage, luxury hotels. Every photo screamed money. My money. Dad saw the charges when the bank called. His first reaction wasn't shock, it was defense. "She wouldn't steal from you," he said, his tone firm. "You must have shared the card somehow. Don't start drama." Mom stayed silent, staring into her tea. That silence told me everything. I didn't argue, didn't raise my voice, because arguing gives them power. Silence, on the other hand, silence gives me time to think. I called the bank. I knew what to do. Fraud alert. Dispute claim. They'd open an investigation. Standard procedure. But what she didn't know was that 2 weeks earlier, I'd replaced my old credit card. The one she took wasn't mine anymore. It was an authorized secondary card, under my name, but linked to a separate account, one I'd set up to track spending patterns for a fraud prevention course I was taking online. Every transaction she made wasn't from my savings. It was recorded, monitored, and fully reversible. And every purchase, every flight, every gift, every room was under her name. I just needed to wait. A week later she returned, bronze from the sun, radiant in guiltless luxury. She walked in like nothing happened, hugged Dad, laughed with Mom, and glanced at me only once. A flicker of something. Discomfort, maybe, but quickly masked by fake affection. Later that night, Dad cornered me in the kitchen. "Stop pretending she'd do that to you," he said. "She loves you. Don't let money ruin family." I nodded. "You're right." He exhaled, relieved. "Good. I knew you'd understand." I smiled, just enough to look genuine. Because understanding was exactly what I'd done. 2 days later, the first calls began. Customs, airline billing, fraud investigators, each one asking for Aisha. Apparently the charges on her card, hotel suites, high-value purchases, jewelry, were under investigation for financial misconduct. Her name was tied to a flagged account under federal watch due to suspicious transaction routing. She came to me, panicked, waving papers and crying. "They're saying I committed fraud, that I used a flagged card. What do I do?" I looked at her the way I used to, soft, calm, protective. "Don't worry," I said. "We'll fix it. Just tell them the truth, that you took my card without asking." Her face drained of color. I can't say that. Dad would—" "Find out," I finished for her. She nodded, trembling. I leaned in, voice low. "Then I guess you'll have to explain why a government investigator thinks you're part of a laundering network." Her lips parted, but no words came out. Only the sound of her world starting to collapse. I didn't need to raise a hand. I didn't need to scream. The system I trusted did all the work. She spent weeks trying to fix it, calls, interviews, statements. Eventually, she had to admit what she did, quietly, to the bank, to the police, and finally to our father. The look on his face when he realized she did touch my money, it wasn't anger, it was disbelief. The golden child had cracks after all. When she came to me again, she didn't shout, didn't beg. She just stood at my door, eyes red. "Was this your plan?" she whispered. I looked up from my laptop. "No," I said softly. "This was yours. You took the card, remember?" Her breath hitched. "You ruined me!" I tilted my head. "No, Aisha. You did that when you decided your wants mattered more than trust." She left without another word. Now, sometimes I hear Dad trying to defend her still. "She made a mistake," he says. "You shouldn't have gone that far." But here's the truth. I didn't go far at all. I simply let the truth walk itself to her.